Okay, everybody get ready to do lesson 7.2 Pre Algebra Math Part 1 today. Here is our 30 points here for a class worksheet and only 2 points today for notebook taking. Into our bell work today, students, teachers. We got 2 proportions here to solve. Give your students 5 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. Okay, welcome back for solutions. Here's our solution for number 1. X would equal 22, and then for number 2, A would equal 2. Students, take note if you did not get this correct. Okay, into our lesson, notebook page 1 here. You found a percent of a number. You'll use proportions to solve percent problems. Now we're going to use the percent bar in this lesson. Compares a part to a base. So we have a base down here, then we have a percentage amount up here. In the model shown, 35 is the base and 14 is part of the base. So this is part of the base here, 14 is part of this base here. The percent bar model shows that 14 is 40% of 35, or equivalently, 14 over 35 equals 40 over 100. This would be your proportion here. When you cross multiply here, they will be equal. And then this will be the visual model for this proportion here. Solving percent problems, you can represent A as P percent of B using the proportion A over B equals P over 100. Where A is part of the base B, A is part of base B, and P percent, or P over 100 is the percent. So let's try. Finding the percent, what percent of 7 is 4? So here's our formula here, A over B equals P over 100. So 4 over 7. So what percent of 7 is 4? A would be substitute 4 for A and 7 for B, and then we solve for P. So in this situation here, we cross multiply. Well, this actually, they're going to multiply out by 100. Okay, you can do it that way too. Let's multiply by 100. And they eventually come out with 57 and 1/7 equals P. So that would be our percentage there. 57 and 1/7% of 7 is 4. So that's what they get. 400 would equal 7p, and then you divide 7 into 400, and you would get this number here. Okay, let's try this now. In our guided practice, use a proportion to answer the question, what percent of 60 is 25? Students, this is yours, so pay attention. Okay, to solve number 1, we set up our A over B equals P over 100. 25 over 60 equals P over 100. We're going to multiply out by 100 now. And we get P equals 41 2/3. You can use probably either a calculator or you can do it by hand. 25 is 41 2/3% 60. Okay, example 2, finding a part of a base. What number is 24 of 200? Here's our formula here. A over 200 equals 24 over 100. Substitute 200 for B and 24 for B, and then we just solve for A. This cancels, and then you get A equals 48 in this situation here. 48 is 24% of 200. So that would be the way you solve that. What percent of 24 is 4? Students, this is yours down here. Let's solve our guided practice. Here's our formula here. We plug in our values here. We multiply through by 100. And we get 16 2/3 equals P. So 4 is 16 2/3% of 24. And that was lesson 7.2 part 1. Part 2, part 3 available here, as well as worksheets, tests, quizzes. Online tutoring is available. Solution PowerPoints for your skill checks and your tests are also available here. Thank you.